So like I was saying, first and foremost, I want to thank y'all for, just your willingness to be a part of this, because we are going to hit on some vulnerable things. And as men, especially black men, I'm excited to hear from you all and what you have to say about this specific topic as we dive a little bit into, art therapy, my art being me, artistic expression, right? We have a room full of creatives in here who I believe all utilize their art in a special way. Some do it from joy, some do it from pain, some do it from different inspirations. So I'm really, really excited to dive into this. But before we start, quick check-in, 1 through 10. How are y'all feeling? Let's start from left to right.
Right now, I'm a 9.5.
9.5.
I'm good.
Good energy.
Yeah.
Good energy. How you feeling?
I'm feeling like a 10. I feel like a 10 because of all y'all, you know what I mean? You feel? So thank you for, attending. Let me just start off by saying that.
All right, Ty.
Okay, so not a 9.5 or a 10. But, just being honest, because we doing that tonight, right? I'm probably about at a 6, just because I had some things going on like a lot of us do, right? So I'm at a 6, but this energy here is helping me climb back up, so I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so I'll have to agree with Ty. It's been a crazy week for me, but I think I'm probably like a 7 or something like that. But seeing you guys, this is definitely my first time here, so this is fun. Hopefully get to a 10 by the end of the panel. That should be fun, right?
Nice. All right, I appreciate that. All right, so let's jump right into it, y'all. All of you up here have different forms and different mediums of art that you utilize, right? So what I want to do is, and I want each of you to answer this, no specific order, but what's the medium of art that you utilize the most, and do you find it to be therapeutic, right? How are you using it in a way as, I would say, therapy for yourself?
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. So this is a hard question for me because I work in several different mediums. Anybody else that have like several different things that they do? It's right. I see you out there. So it's hard to pick which one, but the medium that I use, focusing on right now is painting as an artist. And your second question was it therapy? Yeah. Yes. So yes, I do utilize it as therapy. Like I have a lot going on again, and sometimes life is just running, and then you don't have an opportunity to take in life experiences and what's going on around you. So when I'm painting, it's my exhale, my inhale, my moment of pause, a time to reflect, and a time to appreciate where I'm at and appreciate the gift that I have. So in that right, it is therapy for me.
Yeah, so I know right now, funny story. So I probably say music. I play keys, I play organ at my church sometimes, but I also play like other things, bass, drums, stuff like that. So at one point in time, music was always therapy for me. So it was easy for me to get to a keyboard and just literally cry at the keyboard, just sit there and just be in a vulnerable space where I felt like, some type of release in that. But what happened was once it started to get more so like a job, it decided it felt as if I wasn't really getting that release anymore. But I think recently I just got back to the spot where I was able to start to feel that release from playing and creating and producing and stuff like that. So now I'm in a really good spot. So I'll say music for me.
I would say dance. So I started dancing at a very young age, around 13. And from there, it's been a place for me to kind of relax and be at peace. I found a way to incorporate dance and video at the same time when I was in school, I used to make dance videos on campus. So I would go around campus dancing all over the place. And it kind of was it was a way that people kind of recognized me when they see me. They're like, oh, that's the guy that dance. Turbo, that's the guy that dance. And it created a different energy. And I think in moments where we kind of tap into that energy, people start to kind of resonate with that. They remember you for those things. And yeah, that's kind of my therapy in a sense.
I think my therapy, right now, what I'm diving into, I do a lot. I paint a lot. I like that you said that, and I like that you said music is your therapy. I like that you said dance. You know what I mean? For me right now, is video editing. I like to kind of compartmentalize my mind by tapping into different times within a video and trying to like see how the person or the event or just feel that sense of liveliness and how can I create that. And I think in that moment, I kind of like look back at my life and reflect and say, what can I do to amplify these moments in my life? And I think that that's what brings me joy and peace. So.
I love it. I love it. So, question. You mentioned something about it starting to feel like work and less like creativity, or less like inspiration, less like something you love to do. For all of you up here, do you have those moments where the one thing that you love, your creative outlet, it begins to feel like work, and then that more so adds on to the stress that you have? And if so, how do you break free from that to find inspiration? Because that's tough as a creative. It's like, you got to continue to be inspired. So my question really is, how are you still finding inspiration, especially as creative entrepreneurs?
This is hard. And I'm gonna be very transparent. Like, it was a point in time in my life where this was recent too. It's not like no far back, but I'm speaking on experience. I started to do things for free as an artist. And what that does is immediately whenever you face with the idea that something becomes a mechanism for payment and receiving something, it's like, now I got to put a halt to it. What about this is so bad about this feeling of getting money or receiving something for my gift? And so I think that, what I did was I started to give it away for free because the money gonna come, and the money came, and the money's still gonna come, but I'm still gonna be me. You get what I'm saying? So it's smart, like finding that balance.
That's a word for somebody too. Somebody that's here that's like, you on that borderline of like, I'm trying to survive, but I'm also trying to do this at the same time.
It's hard.
And it's a balance, and something that I want you all to hold on is to not make big decisions when you're desperate. Because you'll compromise your art, you'll compromise your integrity and things like that. So whenever you feel like you're in a desperate position, take some time to breathe, sit with it, but don't compromise the integrity of your art. Never do that. Because once you do it, it's tough to kind of get back. So what about the rest of you?
For myself, I know I can only work or create a piece or write something or whatever media I'm working on if I'm inspired sincerely. So I find myself getting most uninspired when I am focused on what people on social media are doing as opposed to what I'm not doing. So then I get motivated by, I gotta be doing something. I should be doing something right now. No, they're getting it, I should be getting it. And then my work starts to be tainted because it's not sincere. It's a push behind it that isn't genuine. And so therefore I have to refocus and realign myself up to inspiration only. And that means getting away from the screen of my cell phone, getting away from social media and going in nature, praying, meditating, doing something that's going to motivate my mind and my heart, and therefore the inspiration will return.
Really quickly, how many of you get caught up in the comparison? Who's going to be honest with us tonight?
What? That's every day.
All right,
That's
okay,
every day.
I love the integrity in the room. Shout out to y'all. Come on, integrity. All right. Because I was waiting for it to be like, everybody looking to see who raised their hand. But y'all shot them up. That's real, though. That's a real thing. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. So I'll definitely say for me, what it was is that I believe when you're creative, one thing that's important is to have to know your lane, know your niche, know what your specific thing is, right? So I think for me, what got me to a space where I was able to disconnect the thought process of it being a job and also something that I love to do as me as a creative, what I would start to do is venture out and do different types of things within that same venue, that same genre. So with music, I do a lot of producing stuff with gospel artists and stuff like that. Sometimes it's R&B, but not necessarily all the time. But I just got into doing neo soul stuff and lo-fi stuff, and I realized that was my niche, not necessarily my niche, but that was something that was inspirational for me. So I started to regain that love for making stuff, that love for music. It'll be to the point I'll be in my studio and just sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, this joint is crazy. I was just snapping the whole time, but it's just me, but it's cool though. I felt that. So, that was just a part of my situation. I think that works out well.
Appreciate that. Anybody else want to touch on that? Go for it.
I think one of the things that I've whenever I'm in that moment, I'm always working. And to separate just work and purpose, I collaborate with other people that do what I do. And sometimes they do it better than me. Sometimes they don't do it better than me.
Scary.
Right? It's scary. But I don't look at it in a space of competition. I look at it in a space of we're working together for a greater like meaning, you know? And so just being a filmmaker, I've been in so many spaces, created such a large network of people that even when you don't even really realize it, they're actually dependent on you. They reach out to you because that, you know, they see something in themselves. They see something in you that they don't see in themselves.
That's facts.
It's kind of, yeah.
Somebody's about to touch on that? Okay. I did have another question, kind of to piggyback off of that one, because you brought up something about almost like comparison and inspiration, right? There's like this fine line between being like, okay, I love what they're doing, I want to support them, but having like envy secretly in your heart because you know you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So, yeah, you know. So my question to you is, when that moment comes up, when you feel envy or you feel comparison happen, because it happens to all of us, right? How do you turn that around to inspiration? How do you step away from that thing, right? As a creative, because we're always watching, we're always seeing somebody doing it, something dope, right? So how do you go from the comparison, the insecurity to now the inspiration? Because somebody needs that.
Yeah, so I think one thing that is important is just, for me, myself, is to be grounded. You have to be grounded in something, right? Like, you know, I know a lot of times people will say like, oh, I'll rather pray or I'll meditate or something like that, but you have to get to a space where you understand that like your humility kind of makes you who you are in a sense, right? So I want to make sure that I'm in a spot where I'm always being grounded enough to know that like whatever they're doing is great, you know, but whatever I'm doing, it's not necessarily greater, but it's me. You know, and if I'm confident in me, then I know that every situation will make sense. So just being grounded in that thought process. I love that.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. And just piggybacking off of that, for me, I'm really honest with myself. So it's like my question to myself is the integrity of my art worth losing because of the comparison? You know. And if am I not grounded enough? I ask myself those serious questions. Are you not grounded enough to believe in what you can bring to the table, what you have to offer? So just for me, my practice is to ask myself those questions and examine myself and really reflect on the answer and then move forward.
I love it.
Most of the internet cat.
Right.
True.
Nah. Real rap though. Most of the things that you see cat, I mean, somebody could see you and portray the perfect image of themselves or an ideal image of themselves, and you'll believe it. Why? Because you only believe what they show you. So everybody's going through something. Nobody knows what anybody went through to get in this room tonight. Right. And also understanding and having information about the people that you might have envy to from what they're doing. Because more than likely, they possibly share a similar story to you. Yeah. And that'll really ground you. Like, that'll be like, yo, like, okay, we got to collaborate. We got to make this happen together. You know what I mean?
That's a good job.
Yeah, look at Michael. Michael be salty at, look, he out there, but yeah, you heard that. Michael be salty at me because I boost him up in every single chance that I get. I boost Nate up. I boost... You know, now I'm going to boost y'all up. Y'all going to be my first-hand references when it comes to, you know what I mean? But it's all about understanding yourself and, like you said, becoming grounded. Like, I'm grounded. I know everybody around me has the capability to do what I do and more. So even with that understanding, here, let me give you an opportunity that might not do me the best right now. Let me give you the opportunity to see what you can do. But, you know what I mean?
I say D&D. So what I mean by do not disturb, kind of just turning it off. And so when I turn it off, it doesn't really, my mind doesn't force itself to watch it all the time. It kind of allows me to be in that space or in that realm of, this is why you did it initially, you know? And this is who you are as a creative. This is what you started to do. This is what you're, kind of where you put your hands on it at. And sometimes, you know, as we see other creatives doing what we're doing and people who do it better, we're always like, dang man, why I'm not doing what they doing? I should have been doing that right now. So I just got to turn it off. Sometimes you got to deactivate the IG, deactivate the Twitter, plug out.
I ain't ready to do that.
I do it.
They said they ain't ready to deactivate the. Come on,
Deactivate
Instagram?
the IG.
Come on, you take my hand, you tripping. Cut off the IG. Y'all tripping. Nah, that's real though. That's real. I do the same thing. Do not disturb. And if you ever tried to call me after like 6, my fault. I don't get it because it's on do not disturb. But that's a real thing because you have to set boundaries and limits for yourself. So I want to take a quick pivot. And I want to talk about creating from a space of pain. And I only want to talk about this because what I realized with a lot of creatives that I have the opportunity and I'm blessed to talk with, a lot of the things they create is from a place of pain because it's their safe space, right? It's the space where they can escape to. It's their scapegoat. So I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on creating from a safe or from a place of pain and the sustainability of that, right? I think I shared this last time where we talked about Mary J. Blige, and it's like her best stuff was all from pain. We talk about Usher's Confessions, all from pain, but it was fire. But at what expense? So I want to hear from y'all just your thoughts on creating from that place of pain. What are your thoughts on that?
When I graduated college, I graduated in 2020, and I moved to Atlanta straight after. Yeah, took a big change, went straight to Atlanta. I was there for about 4 months working for a Black-owned production company, learning how to do video better. I was really good at photography, just wanted to learn how to do video better. There were some things about that experience when I was living there, me and the guy that I was working for, we just couldn't get along. And I came back home, started all over again. Felt like it was over, couldn't do it anymore. I believe in that moment, in that time, I had faith. Like there was faith. Faith was throughout the whole situation. And so it brought me back to that place of, why did you do this in the beginning? Why did you go to college to change your major so many times, to be a photographer, to be a videographer? What was the whole purpose about that? And I think throughout that journey of when I came back to Philly up until this point now, I made most of the best stuff I've ever made in my life. I've tapped into so many people throughout my experience of being here. And then the craziest thing is the company that I was working for in Atlanta, I work with them now. They came back and they hired me. So, it's a faith thing. Like you have to believe in God initially, or whoever you believed, or whoever you pray to. And it kind of, like there's a cycle of where it kind of just flows back in through you. It just flows through you. And everything that's supposed to happen will happen. Yeah.
Go for it.
My heart. No, I'm just nah, that's facts. Everything will happen. You know what I mean? I think I used to get mad, right? It's like 2012 even. I used to literally DM who I basically idolized, like, yo, these people are iconic. Never got back to me. I'm working with them very same people now. It's cool, right? Yeah. I think a place of pain in your artistry is a very sensitive topic because, like you said earlier, you have to be vulnerable to your situation. You have to actually, care for yourself enough to say, my bad, yo. This is very sensitive to me. You have to care for yourself enough to say, these are my circumstances, these are the things that I'm mentally going through, and cope with that and build around that, because only when you build around that can you become grounded. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like planting that seed of growth and you watering it, So that's how I feel about it,
For me, I believe utilizing the pain is necessary sometimes for the release. Like I need to be able to get this out for me, whatever the heaviness is, whatever the pain is, and I do that through my art. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's necessary for you to utilize the pain, but don't let the pain use you, type of thing. So you have to be able to decipher the two, and I believe that depends on what you're grounded in and who you're grounded in, whatever your belief system is. But I believe it's necessary that you do utilize the pain and not stay there. Like, because who's to determine how long you should be dealing with something, right? But my thing is, use Mary J. Blige, right? Which, what's her good stuff or what's her best stuff, I guess that's subjective, depending on what you like. But, she would even say now in interviews that, like, I'm no longer where I was at. So she utilized the art to get her through to where now she's championing herself, And so if we take that example, I think that's how we can utilize the pain the best. So we're not just dormant and stuck where that pain had us.
So I think one thing that I would say to that is that with pain, right? I believe pain is seasonal, and I only say that because it's inevitable at the same time. So like we're all gonna deal with something in our lives, Unfortunately, most people may deal with something like multiple times in their life, not necessarily the same thing, but it's like something. That's why I say it's something seasonal. But the reason why I feel like producing art through pain is a great thing is because you're available to yourself at that moment. This is your true self. Because if pain is seasonal, that means that it's something that I have to deal with on. Like, you ever have seasonal allergies? Like every September, my eyes just be real crazy. It's really bad. But the thing is, though, like what I realize is that, like in that situation, every September, I make sure my antihistamine together. I have like my little towel just in case I get something crazy in the morning. But I'm preparing that, right? When I know it's seasonal, I know it's coming around. Therefore, I'm able to create something or understand what that may look like in that situation. So when I'm creating from that point of view, it's like, what, I'm giving the authentic part of me in this season. I'm not creating a thing that's not that's happy when I'm sad. I'm not creating something that is sad when I'm melancholy or something like that, So either way, it's just like you have to understand that when you're creating in your season, you're giving your best self of who you are. So that's my thought process with that.
I love that. So I want to ask this now, and we'll kind of start to land the plane here. I want to ask about your inspiration for creating. Where do you pull that from? I believe that a lot of people become anxious, a lot of people become stressed, a lot of people become worried because they don't have clarity on where they're gaining inspiration from. It's very sporadic. And without clarity, then you have the stress, the anxieties, the worries, they start to eat you alive. But when you have the clarity of like, hey, this is the well that I pull from, you can constantly go there. So for each of you, what is that place of inspiration from you? Is it a place of joy? Or is it a darker place? Is it a place of pain? What does that look like for each of you?
I pull my inspiration from multiple assets. Initially from God himself and my community, the people that I constantly talk to. And I think one of you guys said it earlier, I believe. There's moments where you feel like, dang, I don't think I'm doing good right now. But then you have like one of your closest friends around you. It's like, you dope, right, bro? You dope, right? And I think when I hear stuff like that, that affirms certain things for me. And it allows me to kind of just, in that moment, it releases whatever is kind of a burden over my mind. And I just get back into the this is what you do, and you're good at it. Yeah.
Get you some friends that don't allow you to be mediocre. Get you some friends
That's
that
facts.
affirm you, that
I don't
love you,
even
that
think
care about you. That'll give you a kick in the butt and then a hug. Get you some of them friends.
Yeah, facts.
Is that what?
I think my inspiration, I create from just remembering my cousins trapping out the bando.
That's real. That's real.
I'm dead serious though. Because where I come from, all of my family is in the hood. They call me the brains of the family. And I'm like, oftentimes I was ostracized for speaking proper. I had a good vocabulary. I wouldn't even say it was, I don't even want to speak in ad nauseum about this, but it was just, I was being myself. And I think remembering times like that and looking at myself now and trying to provide opportunities for future youth to come down and realize that it's okay to be yourself. That's why I create, because I want to see the look in their eyes when they feel themselves be accepted for who they really are. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I create, for real.
The reason why I create, that's a huge one, right? We both were sitting over here like we gotta think about that. I know what I tell everyone is there's a quote by Nina Simone that says it is an artist's duty to reflect the times in which we live. And I believe that's what my artistry has been called to do. I'm just so bold to think that of myself, right? So that's one thing, reflecting the times. And I believe I'm a voice for the voiceless, and I am a storyteller, and I believe that I should be creating or telling stories that is created by us, for us, to help heal us. So my motivation is to create stories that lead to conversations of healing, that lead to conversations of reflecting the times so that we can create change.
I love it.
It's crazy I have to like come after that. That was really good. But I'll be honest and say I think a lot of my inspiration definitely comes from God. Like I've been in church like literally all my life, and I'm not in the sense of like just it being church, but like actually knowing who God is from that point of view. But also, I believe it's from my future family, and the reason why I say that is because I've been dealing with like the thought process of creating a family for myself. With my wife, we've been married for 5 years now, trying to figure things out with that. Shout out to her, she's over there. Hey, Vaughn. But anyway, yeah.
Shout out the wife.
Yeah, you got a part. She's right there. The pink passport, she knows.
Show her some love.
Show her some love, yo. But no, what I'm saying is that like I think what I realized is that a lot of what I want to do is something to make them like proud of, like, oh, like, yo, my dad made that, or like, oh, my husband made that, or like my brother made that, or my, like, you know what I mean? So I think something that I would like to do is just help, like, I love to help people too. So speaking of that, I do actually have this thing where I'm able to, I created a playlist of songs that I actually use for meditation and therapy. So I actually do therapy as well, and I'm actually a licensed counselor as well. So with that, appreciate it, man. So with that, I actually use that music to like help, like, you know, bring some type of meditation to them. So I realized that, you know, my music is not just for the vibe, but it actually is to help soothe the soul.
Hey, look, fellas, I just want to say that I really appreciate y'all. Seriously, I love y'all. Thank you for, you know, your time, your energy, your vulnerability. I believe that it's definitely touched someone here tonight. And we are just super, super grateful to have you here with Being Me Is Dope. Y'all give them a round of applause. We're gonna take a quick photo. Quick photo, and then we're gonna take a quick